Hey team, I hope you're all well. Gary here from Gary Rankin Coaching, and today we're going to be talking about the power of focusing on what you can control. Now, when it comes to goals, personal growth, managing your mindset and mental health, you've probably heard so many people say, focus on what you can control. But why is it even important? What does it even mean? And how can we go about applying it? Well, we're going to answer all three of those questions today, so please make sure you've got your pad and pen at the ready, and let's get straight into it. First of all, focusing on what we can control. Why is that even important? Well, when it comes to our goals, our growth, our lives, when we focus on things that are out with our control, we feel like we are out of control, like we're in a tailspin. And when we do that, that's when it gives rise to self-doubt, to feelings of things being impossible or hopeless, and that can make us want to give up. And even if it doesn't make us want to give up, it can make us feel so out of control and uncomfortable that we can end up reaching for unhelpful or disempowering habits that can keep us stuck from moving forward with our goals or even move us backwards. But there's a very good reason why we do this, because when we feel out of control, we can reach for disempowering habits that allow us to feel in control. For example, procrastination is one. Instead of us taking action and moving forward on a goal where we're not certain whether we will fail or succeed, we're not certain what the exact outcome will be or what others will say, instead we can procrastinate because we know if we open up our phones and start scrolling through Facebook or Instagram that to some degree will feel good. And thus, we procrastinate through doom scrolling on our phones or tidying the kitchen when we're meant to be taking action on something else, because these things give us a degree of certainty and control. As well as that, we can end up doing things like reaching for the chocolate bar, the cupcake, the fizzy drink, the pint, or the glass of wine, because again, we know that if we pick one of these things up and consume it, we're going to get a release of feel-good chemicals, and for a certain amount of time, we are going to feel good, and thus there is certainty in that and a degree of control. And so when we feel out of control, we can end up seeking it in unhealthy or unhelpful ways. And thus, it's important for us to focus on what we can control, because when we focus on what we can control, it means that everything that we're focusing on is within our influence to do something about, and thus we place ourselves in our power, in our confidence, and give ourselves the greatest chances of taking consistent action, making progress, and achieving the success that we want. So, what does it mean to focus on what we can control? Well, you might have heard me say before that in life, the vast majority of things in the world are wildly out with our control, and the things that are within our control are a finite number. Now, that's not actually a scary thought, because if you think about it, if there are only a few things that we can control, then if we focus on those few things, we can give them all of our energy, all of our attention, all of our effort, and thus give ourselves the greatest chances of success. And so focusing on what we can control means identifying what specific factors in relation to my goals, my growth, my life, can I actually change and do something about? So let me give you some examples. When it comes to our health and well-being goals, when it comes to weight loss for the first one, we can't control how much weight we're going to lose. We can't control what number is going to be on that scale when we step on it, which, quite quick sidebar, is why the scales aren't always the greatest measurement. But anyway, we can't control how much weight we're going to lose or what numbers are going to come up. And thus, if we consistently focus on how much weight we're losing or what number appears on the scale, it can make us feel disheartened. It can make us feel a bit out of control because we put in all this energy and effort and maybe we didn't quite get the numbers that we wanted. But instead, what we can control on a weight loss journey is the amount of calories we're eating. We can also control the quality of the calories that we're eating. We can also control the amount of movement and exercise that we're doing in order to burn calories. And so, if we were to focus on the finite things we can control, how many calories we eat, the quality of those calories, and the amount of calories we're burning, if we just focused on those three things, we'll lose all the weight that we want. Whether it's in a shorter period of time or a longer period of time, if we stay focused on those things consistently, we will make great progress. Same with strength. We cannot determine or control how much strength we build over a period of time. We can't control how much extra weight we're going to be able to put on the bar next time we get in the gym. And so to focus purely on how much strength we're increasing and the numbers that we're adding, again, it's something out with our control that could leave us feeling disheartened or disempowered. But what can we control? Well, we can control how consistently that we're training. We can control how effective we're being in our workouts with making sure that our rests are the appropriate length, making sure that we're warming up properly to our maximum level lifts, making sure that we are maintaining good form throughout the lifts and exercises that we're doing, and we can control what time we go to bed and when we wake up, and thus influencing the quality of sleep and recovery we're getting. Oh yeah, and we can control the amount and quality of calories we're eating, which again are going to allow us to repair and build those muscles so that we can keep building strength. And thus, on those two journeys, one of weight loss, one of strength, we can't control the weight we lose or the strength we build, but there are factors which we can control, and by focusing on those finite factors, it's going to allow us to make the greatest progress possible. And last but by no means least, before we move on to how we can go about applying this, you may have heard me say this before, but the only three things that are truly within our control at all times in life, number one is our focus. Where are we focusing our minds? Where are we focusing our attention? Number two is our effort. How much energy and effort are we putting in to what we're doing? And then number three are our actions. What actions are we choosing to take and what actions are we choosing not to take? And again, if we just focus on, funnily enough, our focus, we can focus on what we have instead of what we don't. We can focus on how we can instead of how we can't. We can focus on how something is possible instead of how it is impossible. And remember, our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings drive our actions, and our actions drive our results. So by taking charge of our minds, by controlling our focus and focusing on the possibilities, how things can be done, what we've got, what's great about us, it's going to give us the energy and confidence we need to go on and achieve our goals. If we focus on our effort and we put our maximum effort possible into our workouts, into making sure we're eating the right foods, into making sure we're getting enough sleep and recovery, into making sure we're doing things that we enjoy in life, again, it's going to energize us, it's going to fulfill us, and it's going to allow us to keep making progress with our goals. And then last but by no means least, if we make sure that we are taking the right actions to get the results that we want, then we're going to get the results that we want eventually. Whether it's first time, whether it's 100th time, if we stick at it and keep taking action, we will eventually get there. And so, how can we go about applying this? Number one, take charge of your mind and focus it on the possibilities, what you can do, what's great about you, why this is important to you, and all the things that are going to energize and uplift you. Number two, make sure you're putting the maximum effort into the actions and things that are going to get you the results that you want. And lastly, make sure you're consistently taking the actions that are going to get you the results that you want. Because remember, greatness is a lot of small things done well, day in and day out. And apart from that, thinking about your goals specifically just now in your life with your health and well-being journey. Note down what your end goal is, what it is you want to achieve. Note down all the things that need to happen for you to achieve that, and then start breaking it down into, of all the things that need to happen for you to get to that weight, to get to that level of strength, to get to that level of speed or endurance, whatever it is, what things are actually 100% in your control? Things like what you eat, when you eat it, how much of it you eat, the quality of what you're eating, when you go to bed, when you wake up, how much water you drink. Make a list of all the things that are 100% within your control and make those your focus, because those things there are the process. And when we focus on the process as opposed to just the end outcome, we can give the process 100% of our energy, of our effort. And when we give 100% of our energy and effort to the process and the things that we can control, that's the things that take us all the way to the end result and to success. And so think about what your end goal is, list what needs to happen for you to achieve that goal, and then write down all the specific factors that are 100% in your control and make those things your focus. And in doing so, you will have a list of things that you can always focus on, you can always put your effort into, and you can always take action with. And that right there is going to center and ground you in your power, because the only things that you are focused on is the things you can control. If you've got any questions about anything at all that we've covered today, please ask your coach and they can reach out to me for you, or please reach out to me personally on Instagram at GaryRankin_. It's always a pleasure to hear from you, and I'm always happy to help. Until next time, focus on what you can control, take care, and I'll see you real soon. Peace.